Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Thunder Agents, issue number 1. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, this week in DC Comics was incredibly light, because apparently this is the 5th week of the month, or at least when comics came out on Wednesday it was. So the only comic that really came out for DC Comics was Thunder Agents issue number 1 of 6. I did get a few other comics this week, however. I got Angel and Faith, issue number 4, TMNT issue number 4, both of which I'll be reviewing. And because I got my YouTube check, I splurged a little, and I got Suicide Squad issue 1, 2, and 3, which I guess I'll be reviewing those on a whole in one review. And also I got the last volume in Brightest Day, which I'm probably going to read on my break today. Anyways, we're not talking about this stuff today. We're going to be talking about Thunder Agents. Now, even though I'm a humongous comic book fan, even though I am well versed in the DC universe, and I'm very well versed in the DC universe, I actually know very little of the Thunder Agents going into them. Very little at all. Actually, I didn't even know they existed until I started doing research on them. I started seeing ads about this comic and other DC comics, so did a little research on them, and I found out some interesting things. But on a whole, I never really knew about the Thunder Agents beforehand. All I really know going into this comic is that there's been multiple incarnations and interpretations of the Thunder Agents. But as a hardcore comic book fan, it can actually be a little refreshing going into a comic not knowing anything about the comic. See, if I go into a Nightwing comic, I know what to expect. I know Dick Grayson, I know who he is and what he does, and I have my expectations already set. The same could be said about Hawkman or Deathstroke the Terminator. Pick any character I'm well versed in, I know what to expect, and I already have expectations set. For a comic book such as Thunder Agents, which I know nothing about, it's actually a little refreshing because I don't have expectations. I don't know what to expect. It's kind of rejuvenating and refreshing and exciting knowing I'm going into a comic book completely blank. Completely blank of any expectations. But at the same time, that means the comic book has to work that much harder to impress me. So the question is will Thunder Agents impress me? Or will I unfortunately be dropping this title and moving on with the rest of my life? Well, you're just going to have to wait and see. So let's jump into Thunder Agents, issue number 1 of 6. Okay, well, I'm not going to go too much into the story because there really isn't too much of a story here. Basically, the Thunder Agents are a group of metahumans, or these individuals who participate in a group called the Higher UN, something along that lines. Anyways, this United Nations group, the Higher UN, it basically recruits people and offers them superpowers. And they get these superpowers, but unfortunately the side effect is that they're going to die eventually. Well, I mean, everyone's going to die eventually, but, I mean, quicker, much quicker. That's one of the big side effects of taking part in this program is that you have a shortened lifespan. And it's basically told from two aspects. You have the first aspect, which is the Thunder Agents themselves, underneath the earth, dealing with a bunch of aliens, demons, monsters, creatures. Never really explained, but some alien-looking things. I don't think they're aliens. I think they're subterranean mole people, but we don't know. Anyways, they're trying to make sure that they're peacekeepers. They're trying to make sure that the peace is kept in this area. And while this is going on, two other agents who don't have superpowers, or at least it doesn't look like they have superpowers, are talking amongst each other about exactly what are the Thunder Agents, where they come from, and who they are. More stuff goes down, but again, I don't want to reveal too much of the story in case you want to pick up the comic. So then, let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, I did like those two agents sitting down and giving a lot of backstory. It really fleshed out what the Thunder Agents are and exactly what they do and why they do it and how they came about. It's kind of like a little origin. The two of them also had good chemistry with each other. I don't know what their relationship is. I don't know if they're boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, just really good friends, or just agents who are attracted to each other. But there's clearly some attraction there. But I really did like the chemistry going on between them. I thought the suits that the Thunder Agents wore, the costumes, were very colorful and very nice. And I also like the concept of these agents who basically give up their lifespan to get superpowers to work for the UN. Bad. Well, I didn't really get much of an impression of anyone other than those two agents that were talking to each other and giving a little bit of backstory. The actual Thunder Agent group, I know nothing about. They kind of just show up and that's it. Second is, I feel as though, even though this is a new comic that I'm going into it, I feel as though this comic is meant for people that already know who the Thunder Agents are. There's not much of an introduction to the characters at all. You get their names and that's about it. And you don't even get their powers at all. So I feel as though someone who read previous incarnations Thunder Agents would probably enjoy this more than someone like me who know nothing about them. It wasn't really inviting to new readers. So that's another bad that I didn't like. And I don't think the transition between the story that is dealing with a subterranean alien demon Pokemon and the two agents talking worked that well. It wasn't handled all too well. I felt as though it could have been smoother, for lack of a better term. Whether or not you should get it. Well, this was an okay book. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was interesting, but I don't think I'm going to pick up issue number 2. I feel as though this book is probably geared more towards people who have already read the Thunder Agents beforehand, have a good understanding of them, and are ready to get into a new incarnation of them. Like I said, in no way, shape, or form is it bad. It's actually pretty fun, but I don't think it's inviting to new readers. So when it comes down to it, if you've already read the Thunder Agents before, you might like this. However, if you haven't read them before, like myself, and you're new to them, maybe you should pass them off and get something else. Which is pretty sad, because I did want to give this a good shot, but it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. So yes, Thunder Agents issue 1 of 6. Pick it up if you were a fan of it beforehand, but if you're not, you're probably better off just getting other comics. So I'm going to end this review here. This is Andrew saying, peace out for now.